If a black person kills a white person, you're going to talk about Dylan Roof. If a black person kills... Okie doke. Let's edit some audio right motherfucking now. I couldn't make it up if I tried. I couldn't make it up if I tried. Goddamn room noise. Can't get rid of it. If you sat me down and said, please guess. Please invent the most biased way possible. The most biased and anti-white way of covering this kidnapping and torture of a white guy. I couldn't come up with what they did. And this is beyond parody. I don't even know how to make fun of these people anymore. Okay, let me just review what happened yesterday. So before the Young Turks came out with the video, I made a video about the kidnapping. And in that video, I talked about how they love white racists, and they never let that story die. And I showed you the Google Trends comparing Dylan Roof to Vester Flanders. I used to make a meme. I made a meme once, and this was it. Get ready to talk about Dylan Roof. So in other words, anytime there was a terrorist attack where Muslims blew something up, the Young Turks are going to talk about Dylan Roof. If a black person kills a white person, you're going to talk about Dylan Roof. If a black person kills a white person, get ready to talk about Dylan Roof. I'm going to talk about Dylan. If a black person kills a white person, get ready to talk about Dylan Roof. If it's Tuesday, get ready to talk about... Get ready to talk about Dylan Roof. So I go to look at their thumbnail and title. So I go to look at their thumbnail and title of their videos, which is just fantastic. I mean, you really, so much is said with these things. You can really learn a lot about somebody based off. You can really learn a lot based off what videos they decide to do out of the billions of possibilities. What do they decide to cover? What do they decide to cover, and what do they name it? And how do they name it? Cover, and what are they? Let's psychoanalyze. So I go there, what do we find? You have got to be kidding me. A Dylan Roof story again. One of dozens that they've done on this dude. And now somehow they have a new policy where they pixel out the faces. Makes no sense. They've shown his face thousands of times. They've shown his face thousands of times. They've shown his face hundreds of times to millions of people. I don't know what they're doing now. It's like pixel virtue. Virtue! And what is it? Charleston shooter gives chilling testimony. So they're talking about what he did again. Remember? He went into the... Remember? He went to the... Did again. Remember? Remember, he went to the black church and then remember it again. Remember, he went to the black church and then he got Burger King and it's this fuck and whites are Burger King and it's this Burger King and whites are terrible. Burger King and whites are terrible and it's a Burger King and whites are terrible. You got Burger King and it's this fuck and whites. Burger King and whites are terrible. And whites are and it's Burger King and whites are terrible and it's a white kid and yeah, whites, racism, right? Fuck white people. Do I need to go back to the agenda? On the same day, what are the odds? It was the segment that led up to them talking about the kidnap in Chicago. Dylan Roof. Oh my God. It's like they need to cleanse the palate with Dylan Roof. Oh, fuck. I guess, here's them at their morning meeting. So a lot of people asking us to cover this whole thing in Chicago with the kidnapping and the do we have to do it? Yeah, we probably should just, I don't know, do something on it. Okay, should we lead into it with the Dylan Roof story? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Let's hit them with a bunch of Dylan Roof and then we'll just throw in a story, just minimal. And by the way, in their video coverage, which I might do a whole video on just that and just walk you through it, it's 11 minutes and 53 seconds. I would say 80% of it is defending Black Lives Matter. I mean, you can break it down by time. So some of it is just giving you the factual details. Then there's a little bit of condemnation over people kidnapping and torturing somebody. There's about nothing. I don't think there's a single thing about the fact that these blacks are racist. And that this is indicative of a larger movement, which is anti-white bigotry that has swept across the nation. Of course, spearheaded by people like the Young Turks. I don't think they're that self-aware, or I don't think they care. But the majority of their video, in fact, you could name their video, "Something happened in Chicago, let's defend Black Lives Matter." That was the overriding impulse. That was the overriding message of that video. Clear as day. And I could show it to you, but let's just look at the title. Just enjoy this with me. So right next to this Dylan Roof image, what do we have over here? We have, oh God. Surely this is going to be black racists kidnap and torture white man. Surely that must be the title. These people are the kings of labeling and identifying the race of the people involved in an incident when race is important to the, when race is an important element to the story. I mean, for fuck's sake, they throw in race when race has nothing to do with it. So when it does have something to do with it, surely they must include it in this title. No. Mentally disabled man beaten and tortured. Period. End of story. Man, no race is involved. Race? What's race? Huh? Yeah, it's not like the Young Turks say, white cop beats black man. White so-and-so does something to black so-and-so. so-and-so. Oh my God. So now they tap the brake. God. So now they tap the brakes on the race on so now they tap the brakes on identifying the races? What? Are you kidding me? Oh, for fuck's sake. Simply stunning. What a catastrophic joke these people are. Oh, you want to know what a joke is? You know what Poe's law is? So I tried to make a joke about it. This is literally me not knowing what they had done yet. So I took a photo of the Beatles, and I was going to do an updated version of Get Ready to Talk About Dylan Roof as a joke, as if like, hey, white guy gets race. Hey, a white guy. Hey, there's some black race. As if like, hey, there's some black racists talking about fuck white people, and they're torturing a white guy. So it's an obvious act of racism against white people. So wouldn't today be a funny moment? Wouldn't today be a funny moment for these pussy regressives to bring up Dylan Roof? That is in my head an extreme version of how grotesquely anti-white these people are, and how laughable their attempted diversions are. So I decided to make a graphic to illustrate how funny it would be if they had the nerve to talk about Dylan Roof today. Years after what that moron did. Years after. So I find a picture of the Beatles with their mop tops because Dylan Roof's haircut reminded me of it. Then I put him in. Then I put him in on top, made it black and white, cut it out, used my graphic designing skills, and then I posted it, and I said, some blacks tortured a white guy? Let's get ready to talk about Dylan Roof. Now, let me just repeat. I was kidding. I made this to make fun of something that they wouldn't dare do. I then go, that's before I saw the fact that the Young Turks did an entire video segment on Dylan Roof before sucking the racial element out of this obvious racist attack against a white man. This obvious racist attack against that white guy. I then go over to John Iadarola's Twitter account, where he posted this up yesterday. This is a fucking thug. He killed 9 people. See? That isn't tough. And he posts a picture of Dylan Roof. And so I respond, LOL, Jesus, I made this graphic as a joke. I didn't think you would I didn't think they would pose law my ass with a day full of roof talk. I got roofied. I mean, you have to understand. I made this graphic before I knew they had the. I made this graphic before. before I knew that they had the balls to talk about Dylan Roof all day. So stupid. So stupid. I mean, it cannot be worse than this. Dylan Roof. Well, guys, just tremendous. I mean, fantastic. What amazing selective editing you guys have. Just avoid all the stories of the horrific actions of Black people in our country. The ongoing criminal assault. Did you cover any of the murders that happened in Chicago? I mean, every day, but I mean, wasn't there a boatload that happened? Wasn't there a boatload that happened over Christmas? Any follow-up coverage from Vester Flanagan? Are we going to hear tales from his manifesto? Nah. Today is a day for Dylan Roof. Oh, what are the odds? And then they bury the story about the Chicago kidnapping by defending Black Lives Matter and not mentioning that this was mentioning that this was a racial act of that this was a racial act of mentioning that this was an mentioning that this was an obvious act mentioning that this was an obvious act of racial hatred towards white people. Racial hatred that is spurred on by them. It's a kind of an awkward position. And let me tell you, as a critic of these people, it is not hard to push over this house of cards. It takes a gust of wind. Their echo chamber is airtight. The slightest breeze of skepticism, and the cards are going tumbling. I will be doing more on this, but I wanted to just address the big picture. Have a great day. Have a great day, and please Patreon my sweet white ass. I mean, they have an 11-minute video, and I could go in and do a whole thing on it, but I know that I'm not going to let them talk for 10 seconds without having something to say. And I just know the way I am, and I know that's going to be an hour-long video. So it's like, what the fuck? You should see what Black Hitler said. Well, it's funny you say that, Gary. I'm yawning. I'm stretching. I just did a video talking about what Black Hitler said, and I'm about to edit that right now. Aaron, how's it going? Open wide and take my dong. Let me. What's the song? I wanna sex you up to the TikTok. You don't stop. I did a whole coverage of that. Broke it down. It's a great video. Wonder where it is. Probably got taken down. Jenk's voice could pull me out of a coat. No, his smell could. Devin, did you do a video on Joe Mixon? Don't know who that is. Never heard of that. Is that a black? Devin, how cold is it in your area? It's snowing. There's snow on the ground. So I don't know what that is in German winter talk, but it's pretty fucking cold for an LA guy. Devin, sorry I can't afford to Patreon you. God damn it. Will you start earning money? Though you're one of the few YouTubers worth it. We'll be buying one of your shirts, though, soon enough. Good. Please do. There's also stickers and baby onesies and mugs and bags and all sorts of shit. But, yeah, I'll wait. I'll play the waiting game for you. You know, I think you're a long-term investment, and I'm just hoping that you win the lottery. So keep buying those scratchers. Throat babies all day and night. I'm just going to shoot ropes down that throat. Unbelievable. Just turned into just a yogurt dispensary. Devin gives us a lend of money. Not a sentence. Technically not a sentence. Love Devin.
Sweet. I hope you're a tween, because that, you got a very juvenile icon, and I'm not sure where you're at emotionally in terms of your development, but so long as you're legal, then we're good to go. So what exactly were you doing in the editing process? Cutting junk audio? Cutting out pops and farts and burps and fuck ups and trying to make it coherent and smooth and just get the best take. I mean, it's basically one take. It's just unless I stumble over a word. Devin, I'm waiting, sir. Okay, there you go. Just the internet has let us arrange face sex over oceans. That's one of the things it's done. I'm scheduling a penile insertion into a stranger's mouth. Not a stranger, I've talked to her before, so it's not. We're going to need a bigger navy. For what? We didn't get very much snow, says the Jersey boy. Your seed. It has been spilt. Exactly. My seed. It's such a weird, like, it's almost a biblical farming metaphor. It's just like, I'm going to harvest. I'm going to hoe. I'm going to plant my seed. It's crazy. Devin, can I have a lend of money? Again, not a sentence, but it's disturbing that you show no evolution after I taught you that that wasn't a sentence, and now you continue hammering it. Did you watch the TYT video of the kidnapping? Yes. It's outrageous, yes. They are blind to the tribalism they produce and propagate. Foul. Also, if we kick them. Yeah. Yeah, I did, and I could react to it, and I think I'm going to maybe do that tonight. I'm just going to do these quick 2 videos right now, just big picture stuff, because it gets lost. I could put a bunch of good stuff, but I got to break it up. I got to be more smart with it. Because I put out like half-hour videos regularly, which no other YouTuber does really, with the production value and the consistency that I do. And it's actually like there's work behind it. You'll get these half-ass YouTubers who put out like a 5-minute video where there's like nothing, there's no intellectual, it's just air. It's just like, here you go. And it's like snappy, and there's quick cuts, and there's music, and here's a little joke, and it's such a weird formula, but I don't know. I gotta pace myself. Kidnap me, daddy. React to that shit. Yeah, I'll react to it. I'm reacting right now, but I'm not giving you any money. I'm not sure you're understanding how our relationship is arranged. You need to give me your money, and then I'll dance for you like the monkey that I am. Now, let's do a little Godsy. Okay. I did a little acting, I think, at the beginning of this one.
In times of crisis and trouble.
How's this for one take?
When traumatic events happen, when horrific things happen, such as the kidnapping and torturing of a mentally disabled white man. Sometimes we don't know where to turn. We don't know what the answers are. We seek comfort. We seek wisdom. In moments like this, I go to the man I've always gone to, who I trust and admire and respect. And that man is Black Hitler, the same gender-loving, unfathomably obnoxious, neck-twitching, spastic, hateful freak known as Gazi Kodzo, whatever fake ass name he is. It's probably Michael Johnson or some shit.
Slave named his ass.
Anyway, he wrote a post in regards to this kidnapping, and I'm going to read it to you. So get ready for that. So get your brain ready. Are you ready? To you. So get ready for that. Are you ready? Here we go. We have been kidnapped and tortured for over 500 years. Dude, nobody's kidnapping your ass. Obviously, this guy's just run and... Obviously, this man has just mashed together 500 years of history into the present moment. And no, you haven't been kidnapped and tortured. You haven't been anything. Nobody gives... You haven't been anything. You haven't... And you are so pathetically not living in the present moment that there's no helping you. There's no helping you. The present moment that there's no helping you. That there's no helping you. You're beyond help. I support these 4 African teenagers! Exclamation point. I'll read that again, just so it sinks in. I support these 4 African teenagers. African? These people could not be less African if they tried. I am more African. I am more African than these people. Charlize Theron's tampons are more African. Tampons are more African than these people. The United States government, which was built by kidnapping. Did you really think that was 2 words? Wait a minute, what? You spelled it as 1 word above. You really think it's 2 words? As if it's kids are being napped. Stop nappying. You think the verb is napping? Is that have anything to do with nappy-headed hoes? God, you same gender-loving queer. Oh. Okay, the United States government, which was built on kidnapping and torture of millions of Africans. Built on it? Yeah, I guess the Irish, the Chinese, the whites, we had nothing to do with it. It was basically just picking cotton. That's how we built the empire. Get the fuck out of here. Does not have a moral foot to stand on to judge these 4 African teenagers. Well, man, you are a moral guru. Right? Who are we to judge? There's blood on our hands, right? God, Jesus Christ. How is this man not in prison? God, how is this man... How is this... God, how is this man not in jail? Jesus Christ. God, how is this man not in prison? Prison. How is this man not in prison? In prison. Prison. Man not in prison. In prison. Not in prison. God, how is this man... Jesus Christ. God, how is this man not in jail? If the United States was truly against kidnapping and torture, they would give reparations to African people. Right. Throw money at this problem. Black people, you're never getting reparations. Ever. Fuck that noise. You pathetic, needy, greedy cunts. You're not getting money for slavery. Give up. Fucking absurd. You should be ashamed. Pathetic. They would release all African prisoners. Oh my God, I've heard this concept before. He wants all black guys. He wants all black people in jail to just be released. Just ta-da. Just ta-da, you're out of jail. Why? Because you're African and and slave African and slavery, kidnapping. Just don't worry about it. You're free. They would stop poisoning our water supply. Wait, what? Who's they and who's they and who's your water supply? Oh, the water system that goes only to black people? Get the fuck out of here. They would stop police terror in the black community. The black community is a terror to itself and to anybody that happens to be unfortunate enough to be in, to find themselves in that community. The police are doing a hell of a job keeping some sort of civility in these areas and handling every single case that comes down the pipe. Bravo to the cops. Hoorah! Not a hoo. Hooray for the police. Thank God we have the police. Thank you, officer. Thank you, officers. Don't be ashamed of the act of these four African. Don't be ashamed of the act these four Africans committed. Understand it. We are tired of being oppressed, terrorized, humiliated, and killed. You can only push a people so far until African people are free. Acts like these will continue to happen. Hooroo! So basically, this is an open call to violence against white people. This is a declaration of war, what you just witnessed on this Facebook page, which, oh, how many people does it have? About 40,000. Yeah, over 40,000 people watch this. Hold on. He's in a relationship with Shango Ntombaya Ntomyambe. No, hold on. Ntoyamba. Oh, are you going to take that last name, Ghazi? Is it going to be Ghazi? Ntoyamba. Oh, I got to see this dude. Look at this big old dude. He found himself a big African man to same gender love upon. Oh, isn't that special? Oh, for the love of God. And there he is, and looks like a great guy. Fuck you, Ghazi. In time, Meyer.
Okay, done. I'm done. I'm going to talk to the chat and I'm going to bounce. I'm going to go do some physical stuff. Don't worry about it. What was that? What did I call the first video? Pat. Okay. So, who lost audio? What are you talking about? I Hypocrite made a video? Let's see that shit. I see a red door and I want it to turn black.
Well, new at 5, an American Idol finalist goes on social media to complain about racial comments made about him at a Popeye's Chicken at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport.
In the past hour, we learned that the store owner has suspended the worker who made those remarks. Fox 5's Natalie Foltz
How unnatural this pairing of human beings is.
talked to Bo Bice today at his home, who says he's upset about what happened.
You know, a lot of people don't really understand, or at least don't fully appreciate why I chose the name I Hypocrite for my blog. Sure, I like to point out other people's hypocrisy as much as the next guy. That's always fun. But what they don't seem to realize is that I Hypocrite is also about looking inward and recognizing your own biases and how those negatively affect your ability to be a reasoned and logical individual. And what we have here in front of us is a wonderful opportunity, a teachable moment brought to us by American Idol runner-up Bo Bice about the perils and pitfalls of being so focused on the double standards of other people that you think that can be used to justify acting like a little bitch, which is not cool. As Negan would say, that is not cool, man.
Not cool. Not fucking cool. You have no fucking idea how not fucking cool that shit is.
Anyways, we're gonna work our way through this short 2-minute Fox video clip, and then I'll expand on that a little bit afterwards.
A father.
Here's a lollipop for you, princess.
A husband.
Good job, ladybug.
But not a racist.
I'm not a bigot. I love everyone.
That's why musician Bo Bice says he was...
By the way, just for the record, I was the first person to ever cut out a PNG and put it on top of video like this, as representative of me talking. That was not a thing. Does everybody understand that? I was the one. This guy's copying me right now. The millions of people, they all copy me. When I got on Atheism, it was like the non-stamp collector who did cartoons, the amazing atheist who did live video, Jacqueline Glenn, live video, all these people doing live video, who was doing Dark Matter, who else was around? I mean, I came first. That's all I'm saying. Like, my early videos, I had a picture of the kangaroo, and I would cut to the picture of the kangaroo. And then I cut him out, and then I thought, oh God, I could put him on top of whatever I was discussing. That's more interesting. It's more connected. Because you're not just like, if I'm talking about the Young Turks and then I just cut to some random picture of a kangaroo, it's like, what? It's just, you lose everything. And then you could also put video behind your character. It seems like a simple thing, right? It's actually the fundamental format for just hundreds of YouTubers now. And it all is traced back to me. And I'm telling you that as a fact. I invented this shit and everybody's copying my ass. I got no fucking credit.
A little bit afterwards.
A father.
Here's a lollipop for you, princess.
A husband.
Good job, ladybug.
But not a racist.
I'm not a bigot. I love everyone.
That's why musician Bo Bice says he was stunned last Friday when an employee at Popeye's Chicken in Hartsfield, Jackson made a racial comment.
One of the three young ladies behind the corner said, "He's already got his, that white boy over there."
Oh, no, they didn't. Oh, shit. Race war when? They called him a white boy. How is this newsworthy? Why is this on the news? He already got his food. That white boy over there. How is that racist? I mean, just...
Well, because the word boy is a racist term. It's what black people were called by white people, and they try to turn it around. A white boy, that's an insult. It's a racial slur. If I said, hey, black boy, you don't think that would be a racial slur?
Just imagine the context of that. Like a couple people behind the counter, and it's like one person says, yo, whose meal is this? And the other person's like, well, I'm not sure, but he already got his food, that white boy over there. And you're like, oh my God. I mean, if there was a bunch of white people in a restaurant and one black dude, I could totally see them being like, yeah, that black guy already.
Yeah, and black guy's not the same as white boy. What the fuck? How do you not understand that? You think that black guy, first of all, it's insensitive and be like, hey, that white guy. You don't have to be all, that one dude over there who's a different race. But if you want to do that, there's different ways and there's different levels of respect. And white boy, it's not the same as a black guy. Fail! Fucking fail!
Got his. Like, it's not even remotely racist or...
Yeah, it is racist. What are you talking about? Are you an idiot? Yeah, go call somebody a black boy. Go into a black neighborhood and say, hey, black boy, and see how that works out for you. Where the fuck is this guy from?
Offensive. How do you get triggered over something this insignificant? And the answer, of course...
Dude, God, I mean, Absolute failure. And this video game in the background. What are you, a 10-year-old boy on a gaming channel? The fuck is this? What does this have to do with anything?
Is that no reasonable person could, but because we live in a culture that loves victimhood and loves manufactured outrage, you have
misapplied buzzwords that does not even have any bearing on the fact that if the guy is getting called out for something, he has every right to be like, yeah, these fucking people are racist. Here's a news flash. Black people can be racist towards whites, and it happens all the time. Welcome. Are you American?
all kinds of opportunists willing to use that to drum up publicity.
Publicity? Say it again.
Willing to use that to drum up publicity.
Publicity. Oh, fucking hey. Dude.
Get attention and thereby profit.
The former American Idol contestant says all he wanted was an apology, but he didn't get it from corporate. So he went to social media to share what happened.
I don't care if you
Well, if you're looking for racist black people, yeah, going to Popeyes in Louisiana, that's a pretty good place to start. All I wanted was an apology. Now Popeyes would be hearing from my attorney. Oh, this guy, he's overreacting. I don't know what his deal is. I'll be deleting this communist media platform from my devices in life. What? What platform? What, does he have a Popeyes app or something?
I don't care if you Bo Bice, Bo Jackson, or Bo Diddley. When you're walking through that airport, you should be treated the same. And when you're giving your money to an establishment, you should be treated the same as anybody.
A double standard? Bice thinks so.
If the tables had been turned and I had used something and been as insensitive as to say something like that, you're talking about that I would be boycotted. There would be people not buying my albums. There would be people coming and picking in at my shows and everything else.
Now, this is true. Obviously, he's right. There's a double standard when it comes to dealing with racial issues, particularly in America. And so we can imagine if you have some black person with a social media following and a white girl was like, oh, he already got his meal, that black boy over there. And then that person decided to go post about it and drum up outrage on social media. The reaction would be worse for the white girl, and there'd be a lot more media sympathy probably.
It's like, why is there any misunderstanding? With the things you say matter. Even you saying the white girl, and why are you making these people children? If you just tell an adult that you're a boy, we're not talking about actual boys. It's a sign of disrespect, and there's a racial history to it, and to ignore that is insane. This is a non-story. He is covering a non-story.
For the black guy, although to be totally fair, let's face it, the historical context of calling a black guy boy is actually more offensive. So I don't know, maybe we'd have to change it to black dude just so that it's on the same level of just completely.
Yeah, but see, that's the whole point. Apparently, you don't find it offensive to be called a white boy. You think that's the equivalent of a black dude, and it's not. Here, just a theoretical, stay with me. If you're going to call somebody a black dude, the racial equivalent of that, if you reverse it, is calling somebody a white dude, not a white boy. And talk about double standards and your whole thing is hypocrisy, and you're blatantly hypocritical right now?
Innocuous statement.
Christ.
Remember me?
We all know this is true. We all know there's a double standard. But when people focus on the double standard and then they say, okay, now it's my turn. Now it's my turn to be the victim and to get all the attention.
My turn to be the victim? No, if you are the victim of something, then you're the victim. I mean, you think Bo Bice is just trying to get publicity? I don't know. I mean, maybe he has a relationship with Fox News. Obviously, it's not worthy of a story being covered. Somebody called me a white boy, especially not in Louisiana. I mean, it's like drive down any street. This is a total normal occurrence. It could happen to me all the time. I never wrote about it, talked about it. playing basketball, just all the time.
And like these other people are constantly doing. You're missing the more important point, which is that what.
And by the way, guys like this, the fact that he's talking about race at all is another copying of me. Nobody talked about race, especially not the way I do. Especially as a white person, like calling shit out. I'm telling you, man, it's an outrage, absolute scandal. I deserve royalties off everybody's fucking AdSense.
Those people are doing when they get all outraged over spilt milk is
spilt milk?
Wrong. It's annoying. It's pathetic. And so just because they do that and they get away with it is not a good reason for you to say, well, I'm going to do it too then. Because two wrongs don't make a right. And I see this in a lot of places. I mean, I see it in the men's rights movement, the occasional tendency to want to play the victim and just mirror all the same things that feminists do and say, well, they do it, so we should.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's a minor event that happened there, but overall, the narrative, the understanding that black people are not the victims. The black people are perpetrating shit, and there's racial hatred that is flowing from them to us. That is a topic that does not get coverage, and so I'm not against the idea that this has become mainstream. Where look, even the friggin' you could kidnap and torture a white guy and say fuck white people, and they still won't acknowledge that it's a real thing that black people hate white people unjustifiably. They still want to make white people the bad guys. Not buying it. I should sue everybody, man. I'm the first person that ever made a video. Everybody on YouTube owes me money. Yeah, I'm eating. I'm living, dude. I'm breathing. Fucking unbelievable. All right. See you later, Raphael. I'm out of here, and I'm going to go work out and sweat. Okay. Goodbye.